right?
You're showing it.
Yeah. You know. All right.
Guys, this is week 5.
Guys, I can't believe we've made it 5 weeks.
I know.
And none of us have gotten sick of it yet.
Are people actually listening to it?
I have to stop checking the analytics.
You like the analytics?
If I had access to the analytics, I'd obsess about it.
You'd be like, refreshing?
Yeah, I'd be like, and now? Anyone? Oh, one more person, but it'd just be me continually
I mentioned
refreshing.
it during the class. I'm like, oh, I bet no one listens anyway. And there was like 4 people that are like, I listen to every single one. So...
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice to know.
I think I've spoken to a couple of people about it. The biggest response was the 6 p.m. class over there. I think like half of the 6 p.m. class.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah.
I think we should have seasons, so maybe like when we get to like 9 or 10, we'll just like have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
And then start season 2.
Yeah.
Reconvene.
I like that.
I think that's a
good
idea.
Maybe we should have some challenges. But anyway.
Yeah, make a different theme out, you know. So.
Anyway,
I love that we're planning.
Not fitness challenges.
We're planning it on the...
On episode 5 of season 1.
A fitness challenge on a podcast.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That'll make for great listening.
Eat some hot wings. That's a thing, right?
No, we should get them to film it and then send it in like while they're listening to it.
Is that new?
Oh, no, man.
Is that just text?
I literally just coloured it in.
Literally.
It's whiteboard marker and I got bored.
I was going to say, it's not a very good job.
You're like, who did you pay to do that? That's terrible.
It's like, that looks infected. You should go to the hospital straight away.
Yeah.
Everyone, this is what he's talking about. No, I did not get anything done. It was just me being bored. Okay, well, let's get started. So we are going to start with our next week's program.
Yeah, we're going to have a
We're gonna
fully
give
visible
you
week.
A fully visible week.
Yeah.
I'm
That makes
very
me super excited.
I went to go clap and then I was like...
Microphone!
Yeah, so let's discuss the following week so everyone knows what they're doing a week ahead.
Yeah.
Yep, excellent. Monday is a public holiday, so we've got nothing crazy programmed for Monday. We'll have some open gym times on Monday for people to come in and hit the back squats. This week is just happy coincidence on the public holiday week, a deload week. I mean, I planned it. Oh, what do you mean?
Open gym, 8 till 10?
Yeah, 8 till 10. Come in, hit some back squats. We got 4 sets of 5. 65%, 70%, 75%, and 80%. So it's still like a hardish last set, but I think compared to the 95% single or 95% plus single people did last week, I think a good little deload squats and then some light front squats and some successories to do some bent over rows and some ab stuff. There will be an option for people who want to do some working out, some sweatiness rather than some back squats, but yeah, that's it for Monday.
Pretty chill.
Yes, I'm super excited to have people do what we did on Tuesday. Gregory, you want to talk about Tuesday?
Tuesday was a big fat mess.
Oh, is this the EMOM?
The EMOM, yeah.
And I think it's appropriately placed because, you know, everyone's going to come off a big Saturday. They're going to have Sunday rest day. Monday is just a bit
Fairly
of squatting
relaxed.
And a bit of a deload on the legs as well. So Tuesday we're going to do a 25-minute EMOM. So it's going to be 5 rounds. You're going to do 10 dumbbell clean and jerks on the first minute. 20 kilos for guys, 15 for ladies. Second minute, you're going to do 7 bar muscle ups for gentlemen, 5 bar muscle ups for ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Third minute, you're going to do 10 burpee box jumps. And on the fourth minute, you're going to do 7 hang, squat, clean, and thrusters with 50 for gentlemen, 35 for ladies. And then you can have a minute rest.
Yeah, you get the minute
Yeah.
rest.
I'll give you a minute rest.
Gracious.
We tested it for 30 minutes, so we did 6 rounds. And when we got to about 4 minutes, we all looked at each other.
Yeah,
and we were
like, are we going to finish
5
this?
rounds class, right? 5 rounds
Yeah,
class.
I think JP walked up to me after the 5th round. He's like, the class is not doing 6 rounds. I was like, no.
No.
We finished 5, and I think we were all waiting for someone to call it, but no one did. And so we did 6 as well. I think one person started to walk to their station, so we all didn't want to like...
Yeah,
Everyone did.
yeah.
But I found it good. I don't think any station took longer than 40 seconds. The burpee box jumps took like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the rest took like 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I like the the fact that the burpee box jumps were third. They were the hardest
They
station.
were definitely the hardest.
7 hang squat clean thrusters only took 20 seconds. So it felt like you got a big rest followed by another minute.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to go for the clean and jerks. Like, I was ready to go for the clean and jerks every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think a very important thing to remember for this EMOM is to not move faster than you need to. Like, there's no need to get the work done in 11 seconds and then have heaps of rest, because then your heart rate's going to skyrocket and you're going to have a bad time.
Trying to
Maybe
get
not in the
rest, yeah.
second or third round, but by the fourth round. So I did the dumbbell clean and jerks, and I think every round Greg was on his 8th rep when I finished my 10th.
Yeah.
And I got 4 rounds in. I was like, that was too fast, and my heart rate is
Way too
through the roof.
I was about to say, so what kind of strategy do you think people should go into with this workout?
I would never do any movements faster than the movements were intended. And like that can come into play with any workout, really. If you just hold the same rhythm on everything, you'll get the work done in an appropriate amount of time. If you scale accordingly, the weight or the reps, then you shouldn't be taking more than 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's the stimulus that we want. If on the first round it takes you longer than 40 seconds, then you're not going to have a good time. And that's what we want from it.
Yes.
We want it to feel like an appropriately programmed EMOM, like
Yeah.
we talked about last time.
Yeah.
And that's hence why we tested it as well. So if you are unsure, and obviously with the bar muscle ups in there and, you know, the weight selection, it might need a little bit of tweaking for some people. So use the clock as a guide. 30 seconds, I'm at 7 reps in, maybe I'll call it there.
Yeah,
And then you
cool.
try and do 7 reps every minute for that
The remaining.
movement.
I think while that is, I like that tactic a lot as well. It gets a little blurry towards the end of the workout, and I think it's important to kind of also check, like gut check yourself a little bit, and not just be like, oh, that's 30 seconds, I've done 3 out of the 10 reps I was supposed to do, I'm going to call it there. Still try and move with a little bit of intention, and hit the number that you picked. So you have
Yeah,
the first
don't
3 rounds.
sandbag.
Have the first 3 rounds to pick a number, and then try and hold that number for the rest of the workout, rather than
Yeah.
being super aggressive at the start and then only holding a third of the reps at the end.
The rest,
So
Yeah, for an RX athlete, I'd also like to challenge them, and they can do it as prescribed. And if they can't make a minute in the 4th round, then that's a void round, and then they try again on the next round.
Oh, so they like restart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would prefer that, even if they only get 4 of the 5 rounds done complete RX. That's still a really good achievement, rather
Yeah.
than scaling from the start but finishing. You know, but I would reserve that for someone that RX more times than not.
yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. The same with like today's burpee box jump overs that everyone did. Yeah. Not everyone can complete 10 minutes of 10 burpee box jump overs, but it's just as hard to, if you get to a point, just to scale it down to 9 or 8. It's cool.
Yeah.
And get
We
through
probably don't need to go on about the extra work. Right?
Yeah.
It's just basically
Just
the
the main
same,
class workouts.
same as usual, really.
So what's Wednesday? That was Tuesday?
That was Tuesday. Yeah.
What's Wednesday?
Wednesday we have a cool little workout that I thought at first when I programmed it, when I wrote it down on the whiteboard, me and Joel were looking at it and we were like, oh, that'll probably be like 5 or 6 rounds, and ended up being a little bit more rounds than I
This is
thought
what
it
you
would
told
be.
me about
Yeah,
this
the one I
morning.
told you about this morning, yeah. But anyway, starts with 4 sets of 5 weighted ring dips. Really good opportunity today to really put into practice a lot of those ring muscle ups and stuff we've been doing. We've been doing lots of ring muscle ups in the extra work at least, and lots of overhead stuff as well. So a good opportunity to get a little bit stronger in that dip. What I would suggest maybe is starting at a weight and increasing across the 4 sets rather than trying to hold the weight across. That way you can maybe push it a little harder towards the end rather than being conservative and holding that weight across all 4 sets.
Yep.
And then we have a 15-minute AMRAP of 10 meters of handstand walks, 18 walking lunges, just body weight, 10 toes to bar, and then 18 walking lunges.
How many walking lunges did you get done?
Did you say 18?
Yeah,
18.
18. Yeah.
Doesn't it say 12?
It says 12 on the app. We did 18. We changed it because it would have been way too many rounds with 12.
Oh, okay.
I got through 10 rounds.
I'll be changing that right now, then. So 18 on both.
18 on both. Yeah. Yeah, so I wrote it down and we did like a practice round, and the 12 lunges took me
It was too quick.
too quick. I would have gotten through maybe 12 rounds of the workout, and I would have done way too much handstand walking. Anyway, I think this is a cool workout because it has a little bit for everyone. The people who are good at handstand walking get an opportunity to kind of show their skill and try and do it under fatigue. So like the toaster bar do really interfere with the handstand walking quite a lot. Shoulders and midline makes the handstand walking quite difficult. So if you're good at handstand walking, that's going to be the challenge for you, is to stay unbroken on the handstand walk. If you're not so good at handstand walking, it's just a great opportunity to practice. 10 meters is not a lot of distance. So, and then those lunges are enough rest
For your upper
for
body.
your upper body to kind of come back and be okay-ish and give it another crack and try and do 2 or 3 meters at a time to get through the 10
Do we
the
have
10
a
meters.
scale for handstand walks?
Yeah, I love, as much as it seems cringy, I love a bear crawl.
A bear crawl?
Love a bear crawl. Double the distance bear crawl is probably what the bottom scaling option would be.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you can also do a double dumbbell overhead carry.
Oh yeah, that's
Um,
nice.
I've got written in the app as well some wall walks. if,
Yeah.
People
If-
Oh,
want
wall
to-
walks are
They
fantastic.
feel-
Yep.
So 3 wall walks instead of 10 meters,
Mm-hmm.
or obviously just the classic scale the volume. So
Mm-hmm.
5 meters instead of 10 meters is sometimes people get better over the 15
Yeah.
minutes, and they just need a couple of minutes to.
Warm up into
Yeah.
it. Cool. That sounds good. I like that workout.
Yeah. No, I think it was appropriate. I was feeling
I call
pretty-
that workout peachy.
Yeah. Peachy was correct because
Accurate.
trying to do Thursday's workout after Wednesday's workout was an interesting experience.
After what? How many lunges? 400?
Yeah, close to 400 lunges. But I mean, you have to be pretty proficient at your handstand walk in order to get the
That
10
many.
rounds. So
Yeah.
What's the
Try
difference
it.
between proficient and efficient?
proficient means you're good at something. Efficient means you're doing it
Well,
with a little effort.
Proficient.
Proficient is
Pro.
good at it.
I'm proficient at it. It
Yeah.
means like I'm really
Yeah.
good at it. And
Efficient.
means you're doing it well.
Doing it with little effort.
Oh, okay. Did you like Google that? I feel
No.
like that was a very dictionary.
No.
Like, are
No.
you smart?
Sometimes. I finished school much more recently than you guys.
This
so-
is Shut up.
Reminds me of that that viscous.
Yeah, viscous. We talked about the viscosity of something. Do you know what viscosity is?
It's
The
like,
thickness of a liquid.
I was about to say
Yeah.
it's like texture. of
Yeah,
the
so like
description.
water is not very viscous versus blood, which is super viscous. Anyway, I think we had this
Anyway,
conversation on one of the
Ducks.
Ducks
Days.
days during lockdown.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thursday is a very classic CrossFit.com workout, Greg.
Yeah. I looked it up. I've done it a couple of times on Beyond the Whiteboard. So what we're doing is descending distance running. So it's a mile run, 2 minutes rest, 1200 meter run.
3 minutes after the
Sorry,
first
3
one. yeah.
minutes rest after the mile, 2 minutes rest after 1200 meters, 1 minute rest after the 800 meters, and finish for 400 meters.
All running.
So much running.
It's good.
I love these
Just once
workouts
through, though?
as an
Just once through.
athlete because
it's
you
4K
don't
is just once through. 4
Yeah.
kilometers.
You
I
don't
know.
get very sore from a workout like this.
No.
You can really overload your lung capacity and you can push as hard as you want. And if you want to get fit for something like the Open, or you just want to increase the lung capacity, go as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, appropriately for the first couple of rounds, but like, you know, people wait till they see a really crazy, sexy workout, and then they feel like the muscle fatigue is what stops them from continuing to get fitter. Whereas a workout like this, anyone can be brave and just go ahead and, you know, tackle it. I found that the 1200 meter run was the hardest because it felt almost as long as the mile run. But I love the rest, how the rest gets a little bit shorter, and the back end of each run feels just as hard as the last one, but you feel kind of good starting it at least. Or
Yeah.
you feel ready.
Yeah.
I felt the same. The 1200 meter run was horrendous.
The spicy one.
So bad. Yeah, I PB'd my mile at the start,
Oh.
which by accident. I was like, I'll stay. I think Greg was a nice
Short distance.
little carrot out in front, so I could like keep him that same distance out in front of me the whole way. And then that last little corner of the mile, I was like, I'm going to try and close the gap a little bit. because Greg was like, oh, I'm not going to run that fast. I'm not going to PB my mile. I was like, oh, cool, I can try and keep up. And I came in, I was like, oh, 12-second PB, great, good. Only
Awesome stuff.
have 2.5 Ks left to run.
Greg's like,
yeah.
I would suggest people think about wearing different shoes. If
Yeah,
they've got
definitely
runners.
running shoes would be...
Like running in my nanos,
advisable.
I just felt very flat and heavy. So having a squishy sole will help.
Yeah.
very,
And
that was very
my shins are a little sore from running in the
squishy soul.
non-squishy soles.
Cool.
I need
so
more
that's
viscous.
More viscosity.
I need more viscosity in my shoe.
So that was Thursday. So what have we got Friday?
Friday, we
We just wrapped up doing.
Yeah, we just finished testing it this morning, and this afternoon, kind of double session for us today. We were busy setting up the rig for everyone in preparation for Murph tomorrow, so we had to split our
so
session
exciting.
in two. So we have some strength stuff first, which we're going to hit some power snatches. We got 5 sets of 2 at 80% of your 1 rep max. I think this will be probably as heavy as our power snatches are getting on this program before we move on to some squat snatches. And I'm excited because it's been very consistent, like doing very similar weights at not super high rep ranges for the last 7 weeks, and I'm so excited to watch people just lift a little bit heavier and see how it feels for all of them. So yeah, 5 sets of 2 at 80%. After that, we have a little AMRAP, max rep efforts. Gregory?
Every 3 minutes for 6 rounds, you're going to do a row or a ski, alternating each time. So it's 250 meters on the rower, 50 double unders, and then max strict handstand push-ups in the remaining 3 minutes. Once you hit the 3 minutes, you're going to start the next round, 250 meter on the ski this time instead of the row, 50 double unders, and then max ring muscle-ups in the remaining 3 minutes. So technically you do 3 rounds of strict handstand push-ups, 3 rounds of muscle-ups, and you just alternate between the two. Alternate between the rower and the ski.
I think that might be my favourite workout for the week.
Yeah.
Oh, is this a wow workout?
Yeah, I like that one.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I think because we've been doing the EMOMs, of the strict handstand push-ups and the ring muscle-ups, and this week, because it's deload week and we're missing Monday, I thought it'd be a good time to just remove those from the practice from the program and actually just put it into a workout and try and do them under a bit of fatigue and see how it feels compared to 8 weeks ago when we weren't practicing. And I know how it felt for me, but how did it feel for you, Greg?
It felt really hard, and I did it by myself. So when I wish it was written differently to how I'm reading it, because when I saw every 3 minutes for 6 rounds, and then max reps this in the remaining time, I'm like, fuck yeah, send it. So I had like a minute 10 left, and I'm like, yeah, max reps, starting to fail a little bit, going to like complete fatigue. I'm like, oh shit, there's only 6 seconds left until my next round. So I grabbed my phone because I was,
because there's no rest in between rounds, right?
Using my phone to count, and I'm like sprinting over to the rower. It's beeping. It's like, you should be going now. So I strap in. I'm like my row and my ski technique was terrible because I was just trying to like start it. But if I thought of it just like an 18-minute AMRAP, I think I would have attacked it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But I got the intent of what it was, and that was like high intensity on the gymnastics movements.
Yeah.
And the row ski was kind of like there to recover in preparation for the next round. So I definitely didn't push hard on the machines. I did the double unders unbroken, no problem. And I liked the gymnastics. I think people will struggle with them movements, but scale appropriately so you can get at least 3 to 5 reps out each time you kick up or jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on paper you think, oh, this is going to be lots of handstand push-ups and lots of ring muscle-ups, and in the end it actually just ended up being conditioning with a little bit of practice in there. So you're basically just practicing doing stuff under fatigue. I think I ended up doing a total of 30 strict handstand push-ups and 22 ring muscle-ups or whatever it was.
So in theory it's not
So
that many.
It's not a lot of reps. It won't be that sore from it, but it's really, really, really good practice to try and keep your heart rate down, going from 2 pulling movements, the rower and the skier. It's just going to tax your shoulders, which you're going to need on your handstand push-ups and on your ring muscle-ups as well. And then getting your heart rate up really high on some double unders, and then trying to get upside down and practicing what we've been, putting to work what we've been practicing. So, Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think.
I just found getting up and doing 5 reps every time worked.
Yeah, I like
So
for
like
me.
kind of pick a number.
For me, it was interesting to feel that I could do a slightly bigger set on that first set than I'm used to. So, like, before we started this program, I probably was comfortable hitting sets of 2 to 3 on the handstand push-ups and also the same sets of 2 to 3 at a time on the rings. This time I'd hop up and be like, I can hit 5 or 6 and then rest 15, 20 seconds and hit one more set before I can get back on the rower.
Yeah.
And the ring muscle-ups is the same. 4 to 5 reps, come down, 3 to 4 reps, go again. And I think that's been the biggest takeaway for me from this experience today was that my recovery in between sets feels good.
Was better. That's good.
Yeah.
So that was Friday.
Let's not worry about Saturday
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
because we don't have a plan yet.
We're not there yet.
It's not Saturday yet. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing, which is the Ducks duo. I'm so excited about this. Same sex, Ducks duo, pairs comp.
Yeah, so my thought was I wanted it to be same sex, not mixed pairs, because I've always liked the fact that I can compare my score to a female when we're like, you use 40 kilos, I use 60 kilos.
Yeah.
You beat me on that workout.
Then you've beat
I'm
me,
not the
yeah.
type of person to be like, but you only did 40 kilos.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just how it is. It's
Yeah.
like the loading is a little bit different for the weights.
Except for wall balls.
And I love being able to compete against women, and especially like the better females at the gym. So my theory was we have one leaderboard, and it's girls compare it with girls, guys compare it with guys, girls compete against girls and guys compete against guys and girls.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have one winner at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's-
to
I
be
felt
honest,
that.
it's not about winning or losing anyway. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. There's going to be a little curveball in there as well. And every time, this is like Ducks Duo number 3. And the first year we had kegs, so keg up and over. No one's touched a keg before. I fucking hate it when you go into a comp and it's just 3 CrossFit workouts.
Yeah.
And you paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah. You're like, I
I
could have done
love
this
the
at home.
application of CrossFit. When you watch the CrossFit Games, they're pushing a snail. They're climbing ropes.
That's probably one of
that-
my favourite
that are super
workouts,
thick.
yeah.
They're getting their hands on an implement the first time.
Yeah, they've never
And
experienced it.
it's hard to do that more and more now. Like the pegboard was like brand new, and like we're not going to do crazy shit like that. But the second year we did the Ducks Duo, we had wheelbarrows, we had
City cycles.
fat ropes, we had the city cycle bike.
Yeah.
And like not every workout's going to be a stupid, crazy
Thing.
spectacle. But I just like to throw a little spice of like, you've never done this before.
This will
Let's
be
see how
you go.
Let's see how coordinated you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apply your fitness,
Yes.
your in-gym fitness. Yeah.
Yeah, so all coaches will be participating.
Yep.
Except Ashley. Ashley's away.
Oh.
Ashley's on a.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. He can go away with his family. How dare he?
How dare you.
But yeah,
So
who are you with?
I'm with Jordan.
excellent.
I know, very excited.
Yeah,
I look forward to trying to beat you.
it's not about the win,
I
man.
look forward to beating you. Are you putting a snatch ladder in? Because that's all I've got. No, I'm excited. I think it'll be good to do it with Jordan. We've got another comp that we're doing at the end of the year as well. So all the more practice.
I feel like there's been not much social interaction the past year and a half with I don't know if you guys know, but there's a virus going around.
Didn't.
Oh, what?
So we haven't really done much, like let's go out and party, let's, meet up, and, obviously the comps have been pretty dire lately. So, I think it's just going to be good to get everyone together and have some fun. And, yes, it's going to be hard work, but there's going to be beers, there's going to be music, there's going to be just like hanging out, there's going to be people
vibes.
here just to, like watch. And I hope it's just a lot of good vibes and
Yeah.
people don't take it too seriously. But
But
still-
serious enough.
That's serious
Let's
enough.
still go home.
It's on.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So there's one other thing about competitions that is making a return this year.
Mr. Garrard.
Mr. Garrard's coming back. How do we feel
Love it.
about this?
Well, let's start with yourself. How do you feel? I think all of us have different feelings about this. So let's talk about you first, Riz.
Listen, I have had personal experience with like interacting with him, in person. He was a lovely enough. There's nothing wrong, but if you're gonna cheat, like you're a cheater, so
Yes.
he's paid his price. Whether or not that I feel like he's not, he is subject to drug testing the entire suspension, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. I think he had scheduled and surprise drug testing throughout
Did you guys watch the thing?
the
The
interview.
hour and a half podcast?
I watched the first 20 minutes
All
on the way
right,
to
so
work. this
you've got to
morning.
watch the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's this podcast? What's it called?
It's only CrossFit.
Oh.
Yeah, CrossFit did a podcast with him. Yeah.
With him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've watched the whole thing.
You can give us
Yeah.
the outline.
Well, I mean, but I guess I'll address that first.
Yeah.
He said that he had to have his name on the registry, but he wasn't tested during his 4-year ban.
At all. He wasn't tested once.
There was a
There's no
result.
testing.
I saw results. There was results in the
He
last
said-
6 months.
From his mouth, that he was not tested. He's not taking supplements anymore. He's not on anything. But he said he was on a registry to say where he is the whole
His
time.
whereabouts.
But he said,
But he was never
since
tested.
the test of the CrossFit
Well,
Games
that's
where he got
average.
busted, that he hasn't been tested again.
That's interesting because CrossFit posted a list of the
Tested
results
athletes.
of
Maybe up
tested
until that
athletes.
one.
Yeah, so that one was maybe 6 months ago, maybe not quite
I
three,
think that
maybe
might have
3
been the
months
first
ago,
one.
and
And, like,
he
That
tested
might have been
negative.
first and last.
Yeah,
I don't think that
that's
looks good.
That
on
sucks.
the
I don't like that a
return,
lot.
But
Yeah, so that was the whole point of what I was going to say was that he's been tested the whole time and he's clean. So welcome back.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
But I mean, from his side of it, it's not his fault he's not being tested,
Tested?
right?
No.
So,
No, but it's also his responsibility, I think, as an athlete to not do
yeah.
the wrong
If
thing again.
look, if I was him, I would have put my hand up and be like, "Hey, I'm getting myself tested every week, and I'm posting my results online every week. It's like, here, I'm clean."
Yeah.
That was if it was me.
Yeah.
Because. I mean, I guess he feels like he's got nothing to prove, and he's got a pretty cool coach now as well. Did you guys see that?
No, who's his coach?
Danielle Brandon and
Underdog.
Underdog Athletics. So Danielle Brandon, Carrie Pierce.
Oh, yeah.
Their coach is now coaching him, and he said he messaged him after seeing people basically ripping into him and everything. And,
Yeah.
and he just felt like, I mean, Ricky was 22 when it happened, right?
Yeah.
That's very young, and people do dumb shit, like I'm sure all of us have. So anyway, cheating is cheating, but I think he's paid his price, and I'm super excited to see the dynamic between him and the other athletes on the field over the next year or
Yeah,
two.
it's going to be savage. Here's my thing. I don't care if you take steroids. Do whatever the fuck you want. Like, you want to take steroids, you want to be a freak, awesome. Be a freak in your gym. But just, like, leave it out of competition. Like, do you know what I mean? That's my big thing. Like, I don't really care what you do with your own.
the thing is, he got his 4-year ban, and I think it would look worse on CrossFit to 3 years into the 4-year ban be like, oh, we shouldn't let him back in after his 4
Yeah.
years. Like, the integrity of them and their 4-year suspension, they can't be like, go back against that. That
But
would be bad on them.
Then
There's
So-
also no
Why
other
didn't they
sport
test
that
him?
bans people permanently for drugs.
No,
right?
no.
So
Athletics,
4
their
years is-
100-meter sprinters get banned all the time, and they come back 3 years later and win gold, and no one even bats an eye.
But the whole point of that is that they're meant to go under, like, rigorous testing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's why I'm disappointed. I didn't finish watching that podcast because I didn't know that.
Probably worth watching the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because up to that point, I was like, oh, that was interesting. I don't know why they did that, but
that would fly under the radar.
Well, because it's not. I don't think it's up to them. It is a external company that tests athletes, so it is technically random, and CrossFit aren't in control of it.
Yeah, but okay, for example, like the weightlifters who are on ASADA, they're subject to drug testing, and my friends who are, you know, in A or B or like the international national teams, they have been tested in the last 6 months probably 10 times.
Yeah,
Urine and blood.
yeah,
So
yeah. I think it needs to be done better.
I
100%.
think, I mean, Ricky, he could have changed his whole life around. We don't even know.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of like on CrossFit.
Yeah, no,
so
this is CrossFit's
they gave
fault,
the
not
ban,
his.
they didn't decide to drug test him every 6 months, that's on them. Because you can't give a ban and be like, oh shit, what do we do at the end of this 4 years? We can't like
Say
give him
no.
another ban.
Yeah.
We didn't do our job by testing him every 6 months.
Yeah.
They probably didn't think he was going to come back. But
Because how many have, right? Like, how many people get banned and come back to CrossFit? Because it's not like there's a lot of money keeping them there.
No.
I think people
while they're out
know
of it.
that this is a big situation. Dubai jumped on this straight away and
Yeah.
be like, we need him in.
Yeah.
This is going to draw eyeballs. This is going to draw attention.
Yeah.
We need that to sell. And
I am so excited.
I'm allowed, we are all allowed to be analysts of the sport.
Yeah.
And I feel like some CrossFit Games athletes that are so involved, they feel like, oh, you wouldn't even know. You're not on the floor. You can't have a say in this.
Yeah.
It's like, if I watch boxing, I'm allowed to talk about boxing. I'm allowed to say, oh yeah, Conor McGregor would get fucking ass kicked on this and blah.
Yeah.
And like, I can't beat him,
Yeah.
but I'm allowed to say it because I'm a fan. And so, and I own a gym. I give my money to CrossFit. I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah.
And if anyone disagrees with that opinion, I don't care.
Yeah.
So when I watch the CrossFit Games, specifically the 2020 CrossFit Games, I watched an hour and a half of Dave Castro talking to the 5 athletes, and it was the most boring, batshit, Matt Fraser's gonna win, I really hope I come second. Basically, that's how they were talking. And I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
like,
don't like
you're
that
not
either.
going to win if you talk like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like Dave knows this as well, and I reckon he shares Ricky's post, and he knows that it, he even throws comments out there like, I wonder if Rich Froning would beat Matt Fraser these days. It's like, is he not allowed to ask? And people
Yeah.
get offended, and they're like, you can't compare apples to oranges.
Yeah.
You can't compare Jordan to Kobe. It's like, he
Actually, he
can
can.
he can talk about whatever the fuck he wants. It's a sport. And you see
And it's
people
also
like
hypothetical.
Matt and Rich, they might get a little bit upset, and it's just like, oh, it's not worth talking about. It's just
Yeah.
like, that's what everyone's thinking.
Well, it's
We're
not,
allowed to talk about it.
It's not worth them talking about it, but the rest of us
No.
should.
And
talk about it.
so, someone like Ricky coming back, if he's clean,
Awesome.
Dude, I want him to talk so much shit. Oh,
and even if he doesn't talk shit, it's just going to leave a little bit of a sour taste in some people's mouths.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they
They
need to push a little bit harder. Because
Yeah.
Ricky's been pushing hard for 4 years.
Yeah.
And he's got a chip on his shoulder now. He's like, he just
I
wants
love
to
it.
He's
prove
got something
himself.
to prove.
I
Yeah.
think I'm super excited. I think it's going to make a good spectacle.
It's
regardless.
going to make
I
me
was
watch
saying-
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And CrossFit Games love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I mean by like, if you want to be a freak, then awesome, do it. I didn't know that he hadn't been tested.
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks. But at the same time, I mean, even if he comes back and does Dubai and he gets popped again, like, you're right, it will be the biggest spectacle, and everybody will be sitting on the edge of their chairs watching that entire
Yeah.
Dude,
competition.
he'd have to be pretty dumb to get popped again.
I mean,
He can't. He's he actually
Surely
said
not.
he doesn't even take protein or creatine or anything now.
He's just like, I
I
don't
mean-
want it to happen even by accident.
The-
I mean, what? People say that shit all the time. Like, you can lie.
yeah, people.
Like,
wasn't there one-
murderers say
wasn't
that they
there-
didn't murder the guy as
wasn't
well.
there one CrossFit Games athlete that
Oh, dude.
tried to
No, yeah,
say
this
that
is-
she French kissed her husband
No,
and
no,
he
no.
was taking
No, no.
No, she sucked
She-
his cock.
Yeah, and he, and she swallowed, and
and that's how it happened.
and she says he was taking stuff, and that's how she. and a doctor came out, like an independent doctor, who was like, "This is the biggest amount of horse shit I've ever heard in my life." Yeah, yeah,
So people will talk shit.
yeah. People lie.
They will make
People lie. But
much.
anyway. I think I'm super excited for him to come back, and
Yeah.
I
can't wait to
don't
see
have any hard feelings towards him because like
No,
dude,
that's what I
people
mean.
people screw up all the time.
He's
so.
he's a good person.
Yeah.
It's like he's not like some like fuckwit. Do you know what I mean?
I think
Like,
people
he's just a normal
misunderstand him as
person.
well, and I feel like we might feel a little bit more sensitive to him because he reminds us of like our Aussie mate that we know.
Yeah.
Maybe not the greatest with his words. Maybe can't say what he wants to, what he's thinking a lot of the time. But he's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
And a great athlete.
Dude.
And I feel like we all know someone
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And so whether I trust him or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's CrossFit's job to test him. If they don't test him, that's their fault.
That's the-
He
yeah.
came back after 4 years
Yeah.
and he's still in his prime. It's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
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 All right.
I'm excited for that. Next we have, what is No Explode?
So when I first joined Ducks, there were 2 sections to the warm-up, and it confused the shit out of me because I didn't know what it was. But it's a throwback for me now. So you'd walk into the class, and there'd be the WOD on the board, the extra with the virus, that was what it was called back then, on the one side,
Yeah.
the warm-up, and above the warm-up there was the No Explode, which was the pre-class warm-up. So it was what you should do before
Take back
class
to
starts.
this pre-workout I used to take, and it was called No Explode.
Yeah.
And so I'd take this No Explode, and then I'd warm up, and then I'd do my workout.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I've got a really unhealthy relationship with pre-workouts. So
Should we test? So No Explode. I thought No Explode was a pre-workout.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so that's
is
what you
it-
do pre-warm-up.
Yeah. In my head, I'm like, am I telling people to take
No.
pre-workout?
No!
And
I've learned from my mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't take pre-workout anymore.
And-
It's crazy.
I think it was nice because I put it in there without consulting anyone. I was just like, I'm going to put this in there and see who notices. And we had a couple of members who, long-time members, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, I remember No Explode.
Yeah.
And it was nice for me. And I'm going to keep it in there because I think it's important to do some pre-class things so
Yeah.
that we can get into the workout. And because most people come in and they're there 15 minutes early having a chat, you might as well
Just roll out.
trigger
and
your
do
traps
stuff.
or whatever at the
We
same time.
had, at my old gym, we had these big posters up on the wall, and they were on the whiteboard, and we could draw next to the posters on the whiteboard, and it would be them big Kelly Starrett posters with like a whole bunch of different trigger point therapy stuff.
Yeah.
And so it would be like, fix your bits, and it would be like pointing to the certain things. And I
Yeah.
kind of like, my No Explode was kind of like that.
That.
And I've even toyed with like different things just to see if people notice, like the whole changing the virus to the duck's nuts, and some people noticed and some people didn't, and they're like, something different? I don't know. I've even toyed with like, I see people starting to put their weightlifting shoes on, and I'm like, oh no, don't do that. We're going to do some running first.
Yeah.
And so I tried this color code thing where it's like, if the warm-up is in green, don't put your weightlifting shoes on. If it's in red, you can put your weightlifting shoes on. That lasted about a week.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm glad
how
that
did I get
People
it?
just put their weightlifting shoes on and they're like, I'm going to get on the bike while everyone else is running. But like, I think running is really important, and it's an awesome warm-up tool. It's an awesome workout tool. It's an awesome recovery tool. It's things that everyone usually sucks at. And then they do their competition and they're like, so I'm really bad at running.
Yeah.
And fair enough, running's not in the open, but running is almost in every single comp.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to utilize running more often, but it's just so easy to be like, just 10 calories on the bike or the rower. Don't worry about running, even though we're in a beautiful field here.
Yeah.
I love running.
On that topic, I'd love to see some shuttle sprints in the open. Not because I'd be good at them, just because I've seen them do handstand walks. You've done lunges for meters or whatever.
So why
you
couldn't
can
you do a
totally
shuttle
do some shuttle
Yeah,
sprints.
they had them in the judges course a couple of years
Yeah.
ago. There was a line, you got to run,
Yeah.
touch both hands on one side of the line.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Not because I'd be good at it, but just because it would make people so angry. Like the wall walks, be like, "What the hell is this?" And
How would you
it
make
gives
it-
people who like running a little bit of a. Like,
They
here's
had a little bit of a problem with, I think it was 2018 or 17, no, maybe earlier, the overhead lunges.
no one had enough space. Yeah.
There's a lot of small gyms out there,
Yeah, but
and
we
people had to
still-
do one or we were here.
Yeah.
I had to do heats of 2.
Yeah.
And it took forever. People
Yeah.
were lunging out the front.
It was 2016. It was my very first CrossFit workout.
The overhead
CrossFit
lunge.
Open workout.
And
yeah.
like that's just an unfortunate thing for this gym sometimes.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I think that
everyone can run outside. Right?
Looking at the online component of the CrossFit Games, that they're now like the line needs to be set up directly behind the barbell, and this and that, and it's just
Yeah.
like it's all spaced out perfectly
Yeah,
now
I
that
guess.
they're really starting to catch on to space awareness.
How
Yeah.
it actually flows.
Yeah, so I guess it would never happen, but far out, I would love to
I mean,
see
it
it
still
happen.
could,
Yeah.
because like if you can
handstand walk, right?
lunge, you can handstand walk.
Exactly.
You should be able to do shoulder.
But okay, my question is, how would you put handstand? How would you put shuttle runs into a workout that?
Instead of cows. You do a workout and you do 1 shuttle sprint per 2 cows. Yeah, so it'd usually be 20 cal row, 15 toes to bar, 10 dumbbell clean and jerks. You do 10 shuttle sprints instead of the 20
I feel
cal
like
row.
you'd do that so much quicker though. The shuttle
Well,
run.
depends on how many calories you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
So you just do more shuttle runs.
Yeah, true.
Going back to some really early CrossFit days and things that they haven't brought into the open, I'm thinking like a knees to elbows.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean,
hard to judge,
everyone's like
though.
hard to judge. This is your elbow.
Yeah.
This is your knee.
Yeah.
Does it touch or does it not?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like toes to bar. Does your toes touch the bar or do you miss it?
I guess you say it's hard to judge because you don't want to no rep your friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
many
like
no-reps.
the elbow, this looks like your elbow, and it's just like, I don't know. If they could make that clear, I reckon that could be something that
Yeah.
they introduce that they're just people aren't expecting.
Yeah, I guess if you can do chest to bars and toes to bar, then you can do knees to elbows as well.
It
Okay.
used to be a big thing in the old workouts.
But
If you could pick one movement to be in the next Open that either hasn't been in it, what would it be?
that hasn't been
Hasn't
in.
been in it.
Ah, far out.
That we haven't seen.
Because there's some that haven't been in a while that I'd like to see.
They
I'd
haven't
love
done
to see
a-
some heavy snatches. They've never done
They did
like
that
a.
one workout.
They did the one workout with the chest to
Chest
bars, and it was like, yeah, but love some heavy snatches.
Burpee muscle up.
Burpee muscle
That's pretty good, yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be really good.
Yeah. With rings, you can adjust the rings.
Yeah.
With the bar, you can't really adjust the bar.
Yeah.
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 I'd like to see some sort of like kettlebell.
I don't think we will.
Why?
I don't think there are enough gyms with kettlebells. It's like, remember when they put the dumbbells in the first time and everyone lost them?
I know, and everyone was like trying to glue like plates.
We
to-
did
Funny,
that.
if you look at
We
logos,
taped
CrossFit
plates.
logos around the world, half of them have a
Yeah,
kettlebell.
kettlebell.
Two kettlebells. A kettlebell swing. It's such a common looking movement, but
That's what I mean. We
Lost.
don't ever
we
see
have a
them.
lot as well. We've actually programmed it for the day,
Yeah.
like the kettlebell snatch practice, but I mean, they don't get used nearly half as much as
But
what
you know
they should.
what? It's to do them properly. Like, for example, a kettlebell snatch. There's actually like a finesse about
Yeah,
it.
no.
It's actually hard to do.
Love it, but that's another thing, judging wise, kettlebell swings and kettlebell snatches. The same reason why a box jump will never be in the open. It's always a box jump over because there's a start to the movement and an end to the movement. It's really hard to have just a normal box jump because it's like, did they extend their hips? There's never be an air squat, right? Because it's blurry, the movements are fast.
Or you see
it's
how they
hard
have
to
so much
judge.
trouble with handstand push-ups because like
Yeah.
people still lock out with their arms, but their midline is all messy.
Yeah, like
And
you
so
can
if do
lock
kettlebell
out a-
swing and you're like this, and
like
you're,
a
even if
kettlebell
your arms are
swing.
straight,
Yeah,
your
it's
back's
like-
all curled
Yeah,
out.
you can do a kettlebell swing and be overhead, but your arms can be completely bent. But you could also have a kettlebell swing where your arms are straight, but kettlebell's nowhere near overhead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just takes a half smart person to be able to tell whether it's a rep or not. But there's no
There's a
no
lot
line.
Of, there's a lot of blur.
Yeah, there's like you could be at the front of your head versus at the back of your head, and it makes a significant difference.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But as a training tool, so
Yeah,
many things you can
awesome
do with a
training
kettlebell,
tool.
Yeah, I love kettlebells.
which we don't do enough of.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay, well, I have one last question for you guys.
Yes.
If you could do any profession that's not a coach, what would you do?
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a police officer like every other guy ever, right? Like, that's like half of my friends wanted to be police officers. When I was like little, like 6,
Yeah.
I wanted to be a police officer because I wanted to protect people, you know?
Okay, but what about like 12 or 13? Like when you actually...
I wanted to be a dad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Liam.
Sorry, guys. That was my thing.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
How much
that's...
do they get paid?
Well, that was I wanted to be the stay-at-home dad, right? Like I personally have a great relationship with my dad, and then also have a great relationship with my mum. And I was like, I can like be the dad, but also be the stay-at-home dad, like my mum was a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
And I really admired how she like raised the family, but then also loved my dad heaps. So I wanted to be the stay-at-home dad, you know.
You wanted to be the perfect combination.
Yeah.
of both.
Anyway, it sounds dumb, but that was it.
You're so cute.
Yeah.
What about you?
I actually did my law administration course to become a cop as well. Is it called law and administration TAFE course to become a cop? But then I ended up going down.
Told you, everyone wants to do it.
I didn't.
Every
So,
guy in
police
this room.
officer or firefighter. Now I'd lean more towards a firefighter.
I think I actually thought about it the other day as like, what would I do if gyms just closed?
Yeah.
I thought I'd go and be a fiery. I think.
I wanted to be a physiotherapist. I remember at my grade 7 graduation, and I was like, I know. I was like, but then someone was like, you need to get an OP1, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have the capacity for like that amount of study. I'm like ADD.
Yep.
So I just knew.
You?
I just knew that I was never going to be able to get through the study, but I feel like I got pretty close. So that was.
I
fun.
think you could be the best of both worlds because, like, you don't want to overstep your pay grade with like assessing people's injuries because you're not a physio, but you're a really good PT and a really good coach, and you can see incorrect movement, and you've been in the industry long enough to know what causes certain things.
Yeah.
So while you're not a physio, you can still address
Identify.
problems before they happen,
Yeah.
or you can still help people before they go to the physio, and you can still have a really good relationship with a physio to lead them back into your relationship with them again.
And that's what I feel like I naturally ended up doing anyway.
Yeah.
I created like really good relationships with people that were like chiropractors and physios and, you know, massage therapists. And I've learned so much from all of them.
Yeah.
Like they're like little key things that you look for and what people are doing, and you go, I understand that movement better now, and I feel like that helped me so much and was like a huge part into how I kind of became the coach that I am. So
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like you're more important than a physio because the more you can identify issues, the less they need to see a physio.
Yeah.
And I don't know if whether physio's like that or not.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
prevention
think
is key,
Back in
right?
the day, before there were professional coaches and there was such lack of knowledge for you know, coaching people, it's just like, oh, it's just sweat. But now you've got really professional, world-class coaches.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you need to travel the world. That means you need to, you know, be touched from different coaches, and it could be online
Again with
courses
the
and stuff.
touching.
you love.
I don't know why I say that.
Yeah, because it's like you do.
Because you identify with that word, Greg.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. That's fine.
We'll let you have it.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it. That's enough for today.
Thank
Friday,
you.
Done.
See you, team.
Bye.
Bye.